I drove my tractor through your haystack last night. Ooh ah, ooh ah. I threw my pitchfork at your dog to keep quiet. Ooh ah, ooh ah. Bear with us. Now something's telling me that you're avoiding me. Ooh ah, ooh ah. Oh, come on, darling. You got something I need. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Let's get together in perfect harmony. I got 20 acres and you got 43. Now I've got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Well, that's if you can get one, that is. Considering that Claas combine harvesters are going to be building their combines in Europe, but in Germany, that they are, instead of the United States. Now, I thought I should do a positive video for Canada because I did a negative one earlier. Because unfortunately, Stellantis has decided to invest in the United States and not at the Brampton plant in Canada. So, what if I told you that, this one's gone under the radar, this one. That clause, the combine harvesters that cost something like 750 odd grand to up to around 2.5 million. Crazy money these things are, just so they get your wheat in there. They've got no need of them for them in the United States, seeing that they can't even get rid of their bloody soybean and sorghum and God knows what else because of the tariffs. Well, Claas, who makes these combine harvesters, have decided to up sticks from Nebraska, Omaha or something, Nebraska, and move their manufacturing for Canada to Germany, where there is an agreement already. Now, how's my intro? That was the Wurzels, by the way, the Wurzels. Yes, I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. I can't find it. Oh, where is it? Where's my fucking key? Anyway, a sign of the tariff times. Clause shifts. LEXION 8000 combine harvesters. Ooh, look at them. Oh, blimey, they are so beautiful. Look at it. That's a tractor on there. That's something up beside the mountains and shit. Yeah, that is. Anyway. Don't forget to beat the like button. There you go. Anyway, so it's a sign of the tariff times. The clause shifts LEXION 8000 combine production from Omaha, Nebraska to Germany. By making the move, the manufacturer avoids the 50% steel and aluminium tariff in place between the US and Canada. LEXION 8000 combines now have to be made at Claas facilities in either Harsewinkel or Bad Saulgau, I don't know the names up. Anyway, in Germany, alright? And it's through the steel because they're using steel, what have you, from Canada. They could have moved their production actually to Canada, I suppose. They could have done that. But, I suppose they're already set up in Germany, so it makes sense for them. But, at least the Canadian farmers can get hold of their combines at a reasonable price. Now, unfortunately for those combines in the United States, they're still costing an absolute fortune because the steel being used is coming from Canada. And the aluminium, what have you. The US don't produce enough. Alright? That's why they're buying it in. If they're not buying in necessarily because it's necessarily cheaper from Canada. They're buying in because they have to. The thing you remember about steel is there's two main kind of furnaces, for steel. And you've got for virgin steel, and and also then you got I think Mike Johnson. No, he's got a daughter, isn't he? So he looks like babyface. He looks a bit like a virgin, doesn't he? Looks, he's got a face like any mother can love. He's got beautiful smooth skin. Yes, yeah. Maybe that's why he's so popular on Grindr. Maybe. Anyway, let's not digress anymore. Now the thing is, you see. And I forgot where I was. Anyway, these combines, they do cost a shitload of fucking money to build. They're highly specialised things, all computerised. It's not just the fact they're made of steel and rubber and God knows what else and plexiglass and stuff. There's all the electronics in them. These things are all like automated and shit, They're clever bits of kit. You need a blinking, scientific degree or something just to operate the bloody things. You go inside one of them things, they've got computer screens and shit in front of you. They're amazing bits of kit. And unfortunately for, the supply chains in the United States, they're all going to suffer as a result of these tariffs. So this one's hitting the United States, right? And they do build a lot of these things. It's surprising. Now, the LEXION 8000 is around $750 to $1 million, $750,000 to $1 million, and that's a shitload of money, right? Second hand, you can buy a combine for as little as $60,000, for a usable combine. Old one, obviously, like 2013. If you get 2018, you're going to be paying around $250,000. They do lose a lot of money, because they get worked hard, and they're usually bought in the form of a syndicate. So one combine end up getting used by a whole load of farms, basically. They all mucking together. I know they do around here anyway. When the harvesting goes on, it's like the same combine has been used at all the fields, even though they're different farms, different farmers. So, they are extremely expensive things. And they only have really one job, and that's harvesting. And considering what's going on in the United States at the moment, it seems to make sense. Move your manufacturing so it's easier to sell the product to the country that is still farming, that is supplying countries that have decided to boycott the United States, such as China and places like that. You see, so the farming sector in Canada is doing really well. It's doing really well. Okay, the automotive section has been hit left, right, and centre by bloody Trump's tariffs because he's a fucking asshole. Anyway, that's all. He is. I'm not fond of that fucking orange frond shits and pants in the White House. No, he's an evil bastard. He can't even negotiate a bloody peace deal. He didn't negotiate the peace deal. You know that, don't you? With Gaza and what have you. No, he didn't negotiate that, and it's already fallen apart. It's useless. Absolutely useless. Anyway. I feel sorry for those people that are suffering. Netanyahu is an evil feckin' bastard, and no, should never ever be pardoned. So anyway,
when companies say they're going to,
that was random. Anyway, German farm machinery manufacturer Claas has issued a statement reading in part that to remain competitive in the Canadian market under the current tariff and trade conditions. Claas has transitioned production of the 2026 model year LEXION 8000 series combines destined for Canada to Germany. Now, by implementing this production shift, Claas would avoid paying the 50% steel and aluminium tariffs currently in place between the US and Canada. The products manufactured in Germany and shipped to the US are subject to 15% blanket tariff with some exceptions. Claas says that the change will only apply to machines that will eventually harvest grain in farms in Canada. LEXION combines built for US customers will continue to be assembled, not built, assembled. All the parts have got to be built, you know that, in Omaha, Nebraska, with most parts sourcing remaining local to the US. A bit of good news amid the bad is Claas also says it will maintain stable prices in the US until December the 31st, despite impact of tariffs. Well, that's not very far away, is it? A couple of months, So if you're looking to buy a new Claas combine tractor or a forage harvester, it sounds like you should be able to about locking in and pre-tariff price before the end of the year. That's obviously for the United States. Now, the Canadians, well, they'll just have their reduced prices, wouldn't they? Now, Claas recently soft-launched its new Jaguar 1000 series forage harvesters. Ooh, Jaguar series. All right, well, where they can be built? Okay, all right. Earlier this month, the company hosted groundbreaking on its Omaha campus for the new American R&D Center and recently expanded its dealer network throughout a handful of states in the Midwest. So, at least it's a bit of positive news. At least the Canadian farmers will be able to get their combines at a reduced rate instead of all these fucking tariffs. At least they'll be German built. Instead of, made by, companies like Chrysler. Would be Chrysler, baby, or be Ram. I don't know. Anyway, it's Claas. Anyway, so yeah, so there's a bit of positive news for Canada, but also just puts things into perspective in relationship to these tariffs that they're also hurting the United States, and certainly is out hurting the citizens of the United States. Yes, the tariffs are screwing them right over. The food prices, oh my God, horrendous. You wait for Christmas, all these tariffs in place for Christmas. It's going to be a pretty meager Christmas. You won't even have 2 dolls. You can have 1 if you're lucky. You will be calling them Donny One Doll. Call them Melania or something. I don't know. You tell me. Crikey. Fucking hell. Anyway, please beat the old like button and maybe subscribe to the channel. And, rate my singing. Will I make X Factor? Can I make, I don't know, Britain's Got Talent? No, obviously not. Fucking hell. My voice is just break. I got a problem with my voice, you see. As you can probably tell. Anyway, so it's time for me to go and say toodaloo, But before I do, don't forget to boot the old like button, like I said. But also, we're doing a rewilding here in France where you can basically have a tree. All right, and we'll plant a tree on your behalf. I'll make a sign to go with the tree. Give me a memory of a loved one, whatever you like, really. We'll also make lots of bat boxes and shit like that, Things for the little animals. It's all about habitats, and obviously trees are the lungs of the earth, aren't they? And when you've got this feckin' orange von shits and pants and trying to get rid of every single bloody eco project out there, even though it's producing more electricity and providing 75% of the electricity or something like that. Crazy, man. But, he's an idiot, isn't he? But he is. Anyway, toodaloo. I got a brand new combine harvester and I can't find the key.